All right. Real quick for the people who might be watching on the replay, we're a little early. We're just getting started on a trial run of me breaking down some of the body-worn camera footage and public records requests obtained from the Brent Kopacka standoff in December of 2022. I realize that a lot of people have seen video footage. I'm in the process of getting public records requests continually coming in, and thought I've been doing this for members only, but I thought I'd do it for the live audience and see if anybody's interested in watching that. We'll get going here very, very shortly. And I don't have a particular order at the moment to go through these. I have a system in which I've got a large dump of camera footage that I've gotten, and it's just kind of in whatever order I sorted it in. We'll go through that and just kind of click on random files and play them. If that gets totally annoying, I will change up the style a little bit and try to look more for the date timestamps if there's looking stuff like that. But we were earlier in a members only live dig, and we saw some interesting footage about when the body of Brent Kopacka was taken out of the apartments at the Coffee House Apartments. It was 6 o'clock, a little after 6 o'clock, it looked like, when they were bringing in the funeral home to remove his body. The weird part that we caught on the live, and the reason I got prompted to, like, well, shit, maybe we should do this. And by the way, Christy Chaos, thanks for coming in. The reason I decided to maybe try this as a public view was because there was a moment when the funeral home guy had said the body is in the car already, and then they asked him to come in and get the body from upstairs. And I'm like, well, is there two bodies? Like, why did you say the body is in the car? Maybe he was saying the body will be put in the car, but it sounded like he said the body is in the gold van. And then they said, okay, well, come around the back so you can basically get the body out of the upstairs bedroom. So then it was like, well, wait a minute, is there more than one body? What the hell's going on? So we pay attention to those little details and ask questions. And again, as we were doing it in the members only live, is like, we should try this. We should try this one time. So Christy's Chaos, or Chris Chaos, thank you very much. Recognize your name. I think we've watched some of your videos in the past. In fact, on my channel, and Birdie Bombshells has also watched some of your stuff. I think I recognize your name from that. So welcome. And UK Claire, thanks. You were in the members only live. So we'll get started here. Amanda's in here as well. So really small audience, and this is the reason why I have a hard time doing these things live, is if we have a really, really small audience, it actually hurts the channel. It tells YouTube's algorithm that nobody gives a shit about what we say. So we'll play it by ear. We'll do one live. We'll see how it goes. If we only hold 20 people watching or less, like we've got right now, we won't keep doing this because it'll just hurt the channel. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and close the last video we had on screen, and I'm going to find the next one in the series. It looks like I had that one downloaded. Let's see. I thought maybe I didn't move that to the reviewed folder. All right. This is only a small 1 minute and 25-second camera footage. What I'm going to do real quick is I like to look up the Zulu time converter. Did I just lose it? No, I didn't lose it. So this is at 15:25. 25 and 27 seconds on December 15th, which is actually 7:25 in the morning. So this is 7:25 in the morning, so it's hours after Kopacka's shooting, which is around 4 o'clock in the morning. So we'll just take a look and see what we got. Again, for those who haven't watched these before, there's a pre-buffer of about 30 seconds on these videos where you don't hear sound. So if you don't hear sound right away, don't freak out about it. And then when I start to hear sound, I'll let you know so that we can make sure that you hear it as well. All right. Thanks, Essie, for coming in. Thank you for those who are coming in to support the channel. Sakaya, is that how you say it? Sakaya Strong. Hello, young man. I'm just passing through. Blessings, and thank you for sharing yourself with us. Thanks. Stay safe. Thank you very much. I don't know that I would say I'm a young man, but all right, Opalite, welcome back. You were on the members only side. Thank you for checking us out. All right, let's go ahead. Let's hit this thing. And again, I'm going to start hitting play. We won't probably hear sound for about 30 seconds when the officers there's a pre-loop that has before when they hit the button where it has been recording, and then the audio will kick in about 30 seconds here. And I'll let you know when I hear audio. Okay, we're on the front side, Latah Street at the Coffee House Apartments. Early morning after the shooting.
Going up there?
All right. You should have heard the audio pop in right there. So hopefully you guys heard the audio. Let me know while I'm rolling this if you don't hear audio, but you should hear audio now.
Okay. So we have this all seized off for an investigation for a shooting last night. You work here? Oh, gotcha. Yeah, we're holding it down for probably a couple more hours today. So sorry, man. I didn't see it till.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, I was just super surprised with all the stuff.
Yeah. So we had to. Yeah, it was an ugly night. So, so detectives are up there. They should be done shortly, I'm hoping.
Okay. So
just for retrospect, no, they're not going to be done shortly because we already know this is at 7 something in the morning. We already know that the body was still inside the building at 6 o'clock at night that night. They hadn't got it out. So it was locked down all day, but
hang out here or
if you want to. Yeah, you just can't cross the evidence line.
Okay.
But you're welcome to sit in the car and put your phone, whatever you have.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Document
That's
that
like
you were on
12 hours.
On time.
Sweet, I appreciate it.
All right, brother. You too, man.
All right. Let's. So that was a pretty low yield. I'm going to put that in the reviewed folder. I think this other file I also need to. These other ones that have been marked as downloaded probably need to go to the reviewed folder. I don't know why I don't have them there. I'm going to leave them for now. We'll go ahead and click on this one, and we'll get started on that. All right, let's take a, this has got audio immediately, which is very unusual. 1414, let's take a look at the Zulu time converter. 14 and 19 seconds on the 15th is actually 6:15 in the morning. So this is a couple hours after a few hours after the shooting. I think, well, around 4 o'clock in the morning. So this has been a couple hours after the shooting. We are inside the Coffee House Apartments. Don't know what this is going to show. It's 15 minutes, so we'll give it a shot. We get great view of this guy's eyelashes. So for those who are new to this breakdown, I do like to explain to you what you're seeing, especially when we're brand new on the recording for first time viewers. What you've got on screen is apartment 305. 305 is directly across from room 311 where the shooting happened at Brent Kopacka. The officers had staged in 305 as a temporary holding place. Now they got crime scene tape stretched across the wall of the hallway. So the doorway across from or behind this, on the other side of the hallway from this door is where this guy is sitting in front of it, looks like. So. And there may, I mean, here's the worst part about this, right? This may be like a really low hanging fruit video. I am a believer in the devil's in the details. So sometimes the smallest thing you hear somebody down the hall saying something, we'll go, well, wait a minute, what did you just say? So we do kind of watch these things. This is why I always hesitate doing them as a live breakdown, because I don't know if it's going to be a snooze fest or you're going to find something interesting. So UK Claire, I thank you for being jealous about this guy's eyelashes. He does have outstanding eyelashes. Yes. So there you go. All right, let's keep going. We can hear what sounds like it sounds like probably people who live there, residents, that are girls giggling in the hallway. I doubt those are police officers. So I think there's probably residents. I didn't catch what they were saying, but let's continue. Most of these officers, I'm starting to know their faces, but I don't remember who we're looking at. I feel like I've seen this guy's camera footage from. We've watched a lot of camera footage, and sometimes, if it looks like it's going to be a complete snooze fest, we'll skip through looking to see if there's, like, if it just has a big redaction box on the screen. Sometimes we'll just fast forward and see if there's a new place where video shows up. Oh, Essie, sorry to hear that your pain block is starting to go away. That sucks. Long day, sir. I think by this time, students were told that they can that the incident was over and they could safely go back to classes and stuff or start their day. That was part of the excuse, if you will, used for escalating the shooting when they did, is they were concerned that students would start getting up in the morning and heading to classes, and they couldn't have a guy shooting out a window with students getting ready for class. So they kind of escalated, ending the event sooner. So I believe the all clear has been given, or is around this time. This guy's making me nauseous. She's dancing to the music. We had some more interesting footage outside the place. These inside the hallway ones might be something we'll skip. We'll keep watching this maybe for the 11 minutes, and then I'll try to find something maybe more outdoors where there's more activity. The fun part is catching people talking when they don't realize they're being recorded. Morning, Robin. I didn't even see Robin comment in here, but it looks like Robin's in here as well. While I caution about having too many of us on screen at one time, I could have one of our panelists join me if they are in the show and they want to join up on things for commentary. I just don't want to over talk.
Yeah. No.
What else you got to do right now?
I don't have it on my phone. We gotta go to that call.
Yeah, I'm gonna go eat these squashes.
Yeah. I gotta piss again.
Freaking airport to sit in a warm car.
Yeah.
Of course, I fall asleep.
I should probably put a parental advisory sticker on.
To work like a few extra hours. That's not bad.
There you go. Never know what's going to happen. started dropping F-bombs. Usually I do it when I drop an F-bomb, but she dropped an F-bomb.
Oh.
All right, so I'm going to back up just a hair for those who don't know. Fuck me. Hold on. Now I dropped the F-bomb. Well, hold on. How about right? Bam. Okay. So that female officer is who we were hearing down the hallway. This box in the front and the foreground, if you don't know, is a telephone box that was brought up from the floor below. They used that to try to call Brent Kopacka during the standoff and get, because his cell phone, he said, wasn't working. This is the open door to 311 where the shooting happened, where they busted in and confronted him. They actually shot ferret rounds through the windows from the ground outside. So that officer down there is standing at a stairway leading down to the ground floor. This apartment looks out over the back parking lot. So that's kind of some layout if you haven't seen it before, to let you know what the layout is. I just thought it would be a good time to kind of give you that layout. You're heading to the store, but I'll be back after a bit. All right, Robin, we'll see how this goes. All right, let's keep playing.
So that's east, right?
Did you? One of the officers just ripped one. That's great. I'm so sorry that the entire nation has to hear you cutting cheese in the fucking hallway. But all right, it's all good. This is live.
South. Okay.
And that hallway down that way is another stair. It goes to another staircase leading out.
Oh. Yep, ready to go back home. That was exciting. Yeah. Sitting here on my butt for the last hours. Yep, you're good to go.
You broke the right hand, huh? Or I said the correct hand, so you can still type. That's awesome. You're a warrior. I'm sorry for your pain level. So again, down that hallway to the left, that's an exit sign you can see, but to the left is a stairwell leading down to the front. So this is like a little short hallway that he's in. But getting nauseous yet with all that moving the camera around like that?
She was going to push the tea packet until 1 so that we could have a nap and then get to his doctor's appointment. And then I was going to take time at 1 and keep her until you guys got off. Because I know that office is going to cover it. We did have, good. I don't know how late you're going to keep you because you came in early. But we did have plans to see the lights. Hadley can just come with us. We're gonna go see the lights and go to dinner. So we can just either meet halfway or bring her back to Pullman.
Woo! This guy's making me dizzy.
Yeah, it's no problem for us to hold on for. I just want to make sure you're cool with us driving all around. And let's go get the same car seat, so we're already really good at getting to the truck.
I am trying to pay attention to what she's saying in case she surprises me. So I am focused on listening to the officer's conversation down the hall. And so if you catch something, you can maybe flag me, but I don't want to overstop it, but I am listening for the things that catch my attention. So in case you think I'm just watching it, doing the slow stroke over here, I'm actually listening. Yeah, he has to pee. Yeah, he said he had to take a wicked piss. Not a wicked piss, but anyways. So yeah, we'll keep watching. Foxy, welcome.
Oh, yeah, sure. Even easier. Sounds good. Yeah, I have to be back on those funny shit. Well, clearly nobody's back in a second.
I may stand corrected. All that giggling I heard earlier might have been her. I thought it was like a college kid in the thing, but now that I heard her just laugh like that, now I'm beginning to think she might have been the one that was giggling earlier. So who knows?
Well, I mean, it's not like you chose that. You were assigned this spot. This is where you remember. There are limited resources. Yeah, it's all over the news, but you can't see who's in what car. Oh, I'm going through it. All the windows are pure busted, so it's fucking, the temperature's plumping up here.
Woo, this guy is making me dizzy.
I didn't ask early enough, and now I got it locked down. No, we got, good.
We're not even getting really good looks into the apartment, so it's not the best yield photo or video. So when we get done with this one, which got about another 4 minutes, we'll switch to a video that has a little higher yield for us. So in other words, I'll open a video and we'll see if it's another hallway thing. We probably won't do it. We're not going to sit here and just watch people in the hall. There's a lot of activity outside that I'm interested in. So if we see some outside footage, we'll do that. There's areas that we didn't even get to watch during the shooting because we were focused on inside interior shots. So we'll finish this 4 minutes here, and then I'll look for a better high yield video maybe. I UK Claire, I don't cover the David or D4D whatever. I know about it, but I don't cover it as a case. I'm interested to know if there's still there was a lot of mystery with that. So if there's still a lot of mystery, I might be interested in looking into that. So
The one with the lights on would be a good guess, but I don't know which one exactly. The one with the busted out window.
oh, she talked about the busted out window. I want to go back and play that. Well, I don't know if I'm going to go back, but I'm making a note real quick, UK Claire, about the D4VD David thing to look into it. I'll look into it because I remember it did have some interesting stuff.
Yeah. Howdy, partner. Oh, nothing. Should have answered.
So this is it looks, so this is an officer coming up from the other stairwell. So again, there's two stairwells. So I kept wondering where the door was coming from, but this officer is coming up from the other stairwell behind the officer's body camera watching. I can't remember his name. I probably could look. The original file told me exactly who the name is, but I don't have it handy, unfortunately. If it was important, I would get it. I don't think it's important at the moment.
What time did you come in?
11. I got here at 11. Yeah. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
They called
Snack
me
bar.
about 30 minutes after I fell asleep, so
Nah.
I was not waking up to that.
Nope.
So it looks like he handed him a
The problem
snack
now is I
bar.
have no water. That's okay.
On the ground, you couldn't see it very well. I'll back up. Right there on the ground, if you see this kind of blurry spot, I believe that is a canister of OC gas they had deployed. That was, I think they took a picture of that out in the hall for evidence. It's hard to see, but it's a canister.
Yeah. Yeah, they probably only have, what, one county? Yeah.
Some of the best footage we saw was these two officers outside during the standoff, and they were just fucking hysterical. I don't know what it was, but their banter was hysterical to me. It was actually like in a tragic event, a comedic relief. Cat Farm, welcome to the show. We're testing out doing a live like this. Like, I'm not like the other creators who can do a live and hundreds of people show up. So I had to pick these carefully because this hurts the algorithm.
Kayla, I gotta pee, but I can come back after.
Kayla Nuxall, I think I think Kayla's last name is Nuxall, I think. So this officer is officially in the crime scene zone because they've got yellow tape on both sides. So this person's entered the crime scene.
Ah, shit, there's no cars, huh?
You could talk to
I'll just find somewhere.
Overton.
I'll just find somewhere and I'll be
Where
back.
it is.
Yeah.
I see. I see. So she's relieving him so he can go take a leak. That's what's going on. Got it. All right. Brent and Bryan represent manifest destiny. Cops in with criminals, all bed together by money, corruption, top down, and across 50 states. Yeah, very, very, very interesting thing to consider. Yep. Little Pinky, my goodness, Amanda from the okay. Oh, okay. That was a little comment between you guys. Got it. So now we're gonna see that other stairwell, which looks like bullet holes in the door, but it's not.
Oh, Jesus.
Cold outside? He's like, go, Jesus. All right, so this is the backside parking lot, overlooking the parking lot. See what he looks to the left is where the shooting was there. Yeah, If you've watched a lot of videos, you know all of this very well. There you go. Down that way, you can't see it's because it's blurry as fuck, is an armored vehicle. That's officer coming there. So yeah, this is again, I won't break it down all right now. Let's just keep playing this. It's not a great video. He's got to find a pissing spot. There you go. That's that video. All right, let's put that away. We'll look for a little higher yield video here. I'm going to put this in the reviewed file. Let's look. Let's take a look at what this next one's going to look like. So I'll just grab the next one I don't have. It is outdoor footage, 13:17 on the 15th. So let's do my Zulu time converter and tell you what I know about this. It's 13:17:22 Zulu on the 15th would actually be 5:17 in the morning, closer to the time of the shooting that it happened. Still early morning, and it's outdoor footage for about 1 minute and 33 seconds. I think we can go ahead and watch it. It's only 1 minute and 33. Let's see what happens. Again, if there's no sound for a few minutes or for 30 seconds, that's normal. We'll go. So no sound right now. Where are we at? We are on, I believe we're on Main up above. So the shooting is actually locations down behind us. I think we're looking, the blurry building out here is the towers that they talked about where a bullet had allegedly hit that tower. This is up on campus a little bit. What was it? Not, what the hell's that name with the C? Fuck, it's eluding me. But anyways, this is up higher from the shooting location, I believe, on the main street. Yeah. So those are college buildings on the campus. And the shooting location of Coffee House would be off to our right where you can't see. Expect to have audio in about 6 seconds. There we go.
Excuse me? I have no idea. Hi. How did you get through the road closed sign? I understand that, but you have to go around. Oh, okay. So go out.
So this person is so dedicated to get to fucking work that they run a police barricade, and this officer has to remind her, yeah, you need to go around the police barricades, not fucking through the police barricades. Thank you, lady, for showing such dedication to your job that you will actually disobey police barricades to get your ass to work. I was never that dedicated. I'd be like, hey man, I can't get to work. You got it all blocked off. But this woman really fucking wants to go to work because she ran a police barricade to get in here.
To Terror View, and you can.
270, the highway going to Moscow. Oh my gosh, over here? Yeah, you have to take this highway down here. And then that way, right? To the traffic light. Yeah. Not this traffic light, but the next one. Oh, okay. So, what time over this way?
So I do like to keep a list of people who should be nominated for stupidity. She should be on that list, in my opinion. Running a police barricade because you want to get to work so bad, I don't even understand that kind of dedication. That's amazing. All right, let's see what we got. Let's pull another random video. This is not a very big video either. All right, so this is 1 minute and 38 seconds. The time is 12:58:06 Zulu, which is 4:58 in the morning. And let's play that. We're up there in that same location. This is where the sniper was shooting from as well. The sniper that shot Kopacka was up right, actually right there. Right in here, I think, is about where the sniper was that shot Kopacka, but kind of up by there's a sign right there that's kind of lit up. It was kind of right in that area right here. In fact, that one of these vehicles is the sniper's vehicle, but anyways, it might be that one right there. Yeah, I think that's the sniper's vehicle. So for those who haven't seen this before, yeah, that's the sniper's vehicle. So the sniper locations to the left of us here off the camera, they're facing stores. That was where the shot was taken from, allegedly, that took out Kopacka. So for those who don't know those things, I like to give you the details so you know how that's going.
Can I help you? Which apartment complex?
Laytop Apartments.
Okay, so the Laytop apartment complex is not impacted. And so, yeah, you just have to drive around to get there.
I don't need to. I
okay.
just want to make sure my tenants.
Yeah, we
good.
didn't evacuate any of your tenants. Some of them were inconvenienced because they had to drive around us and talk to us before they could get into the parking lot.
Okay.
But it was the coffee house apartments.
Okay.
So,
Thank you so much.
yeah, you're welcome.
I'm sorry this is happening, but I just want to make sure.
No, I can appreciate that. So.
So the other ones have been evacuated to Beasley, though.
Yes, have been evacuated to Beasley.
And for those who don't know, Beasley Coliseum is basically, you know, the basketball coliseum. They do concerts there. It's up higher on campus, and they had evacuated people from Coffee House Apartments by bus to Beasley. So that's what she's talking about. This person who apparently manages one of the apartments down there, not the Coffee House Apartments, does know that they've evacuated people to Beasley Coliseum. So that's what they're talking about.
And I don't think the evacuations are still occurring. So.
No, that's fine. I just want to make sure.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
All
I'm
right.
gonna head home now.
Okay. Take care.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Not exciting, but hey, I don't know. When you do it live, you don't know if it's going to be exciting or not. Did I not double click on that to load it? There we go. This looks, let's look at the time converter again real quick. Right, this is 12:40, 22, 4:40 in the morning. Just a couple minute video. I'm trying to get the location. Is this the same location? No audio yet. We'll have that in a minute here. Oh, about 10 seconds. The guy's running. I'm trying to see what he's running to. A lot of people standing there.
Are you folks all right in the bus up to Beasley to stay warm for a little bit? Yeah. Okay, well, the bus is pulling up right.
I know. He's not going to be able to walk very well.
So these are, looks like these are evacuated people that are getting on the bus to go to Beasley Coliseum at 4:40 in the morning, shortly after the shooting.
Yeah, they're going to take the city buses up there for you folks. We really appreciate your all's cooperation with this.
A lot of people out there.
See you, Blake.
I'm trying to get the visual of where we are exactly. I think we're down lower. We're on Benawa Street or Latah Street down here, I think. But I'm trying to get the. Is that the? Yeah, I don't know. Dogs?
Hey, puppies.
All right. Well, again, a relatively unexciting file. We will look for something a little bit better. So this is again up on the main street with the tower, one of the complexes for students tower up here at roughly the same time, which is what did I say? Around 4 something in the morning. We'll just play this and see. This is only a minute and 21, so this is pretty quick. Of which 30 seconds of it's going to be dead air. Well, except for I'm talking over it, but. Yeah, so the main campus here. And for those who don't know, that building that's off to the right, the tower that got hit, supposedly there was a bunch of students that were like kind of standing on a balcony trying to watch what was going on, and they had to kind of secure them.
Hi, how did you get here?
I was working.
This is that same lady before.
Okay, did you go around the signs that said road closed?
Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you got to turn around.
No, it's a different.
And what road I have to get for go to my work?
Where's work at?
On the university here.
So if you turn around and you go out to Terraview, take a left on Terraview.
I swear that's the same fucking lady. She didn't tell me she didn't show up twice running the barricade. Holy shit, that girl wants to get to work. Holy shit. An employee of the year right there. This woman will run the police barricade, I think more than once. I swear it's the same lady. I recognize her accent. Did she literally run the barricade twice and really wants to get to work so fucking bad? How this woman needs to get promoted.
You can get onto WCU's campus if you turn onto Grimes.
Okay, thank you. Sorry.
You're welcome.
Are you sorry though? I feel like you come back later. I swear it's the same fucking lady that comes back later. I swear that's the same lady. And she'd gotten out of the car last time. So, oh my gosh, that's dedication. That's dedication. Yeah, first time she was further back, but she's, and I think the order, I think that was an earlier encounter. That woman's dedicated. Holy piss balls. Now this is a really big file. So let's see what we got to see if it's worth looking at. Man, she's dedicated. Or she's just super snoopy and she wants to have an excuse to come drive into the crime scene and see what's going on. All right, this is an interesting view. Where are we at? So this is going to be a 25-minute view at 11:13. Okay, we need to pull this time up on the converter just to make sure I don't mess it up. 11:13 and 40 seconds on the 15th is 3:13 in the morning. So this should be before Kopacka is shot. This is kind of during the standoff. All right, let's see if it's worth watching. Because this is an interesting angle. I've never seen this during the standoff. So where are we at? Where the fuck are we at? A hotel lobby? Looks like a hotel lobby. The La Quinta or
Hello.
oh, this looks
Thank you so
familiar.
much for your patience.
Oh, look who it is. It's Jordan. This is going to be interesting. This could be potentially interesting shit. This, I believe, is one of the roommates of Brent Kopacka, who had been evacuated from the building. I think it's one of the hotels. So they took one of the roommates to one hotel, I think a La Quinta, and the other one they took to the Quality Inn. So it's one of those two apartments or hotels. So this should be interesting. This should be interesting. Because this should be this should be interesting. Let's see.
Where would you like to talk? Yeah, that's totally fine. Wherever you feel most comfortable.
Yeah, so that's Jordan Baker, one of the roommates who we first encountered during this shooting outside. So this is going to be I think I've seen some of this footage a long time ago, but I haven't watched it for so long. So this will be a good one. And again, this is either in the lobby of La Quinta or Quality Inn. I'm not sure which one. And I could pull it up, but it's nearby.
Yeah, I'm kind of in a very tricky situation. I'm gonna be honest, I've never been in this kind of situation in my life.
I imagine most people have not.
No.
Oh, look.
Well, yeah.
There's something cool. You got a clock on the wall. I told you that I thought it was, after I did the Zulu conversion, it was 3:13 in the morning. Look behind us on the wall there. There's a clock on underneath that TV that says 3:15 in the morning. So yeah.
Ask some questions, but yeah.
Well, okay. So, are you open to talking to me more about what happened?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm not a professional, but I do believe my roommate has some form of schizophrenia.
Okay.
Not only does he have PTSD, but I think he does have some sort of mental condition because as long as I've known him and lived with him for the last 2 months, I've seen some very red flags, schizophrenic red flags about him.
And keep in mind, these roommates only lived with Brent Kopacka for a couple of months at the Coffee House Apartments. He also earlier in June had said that he was living at Pimlico Apartments, which is right across from Bryan Kohberger's apartments, on the opposite side of campus. So one of the questions I've always said is $1 million question is, why does Kopacka say in June he lives at the Pimlico Apartments right across from Bryan Kohberger, up on Brandy Street, where the car accident happened, where a woman was run over. If you know the story, you know the story. But anyways, and these guys all seem to know Brent Kopacka for only a couple of months, staying in this place with no furniture at all in the main room. What the situation is and why they're there is a little strange. Jordan also told us in a previous interview that we've watched that he recently got out of a religious cult, and that he himself, Jordan, has schizophrenic behaviors, and so he knows a bit about it, and he thinks that Brent Kopacka has schizophrenia. So, and I believe the other roommate had some kind of mental disorder. So you have 3 guys living in a place with no furniture, all with mental disorders, that were going to some kind of facility, it seemed like, together. It's a really weird story with these guys living in an apartment with no furniture together and all have mental health issues. I find that so fucking fascinating as part of the story. All right, so let's continue.
You know, I have mental illness myself. The only difference between me and him is he doesn't take medication. I do. And, you know, I've seen it all. I've seen it all from schizophrenics doing really well to doing really bad. You know, he hears things sometimes that aren't there. He talks to himself. He'll see things that aren't real. He's very paranoid. He's a very paranoid person.
What's he paranoid about?
He gets paranoid about the government.
Okay.
Personally, and I don't know if he's had situations with the government in the past or if that's just all in his head.
I want to point out something interesting about Jordan's comments that Brent Kopacka was paranoid and thinks the government's after him. Brent Kopacka also made comments that he was being followed, he was being watched and whatever. And there are indications that Brent Kopacka was a potential suspect in the Idaho 4 murders and that he was getting tired of them looking into him on the thing. So was his paranoia just par for the course with his schizophrenia? Or it's one of those things, it's not paranoia if they really are out to get you. So that's the $1 million question. And I do think that there's plenty of evidence that suggests that Kopacka had mental health issues. But him saying that Kopacka felt that people were watching him, spying on him, government and stuff like that, may not actually be 100% not or just paranoia. Like there might be reasons that triggered, things that triggered that. All right, let's continue with Jordan.
So the situation came about. He's been acting very rambunctious the last 2 months, but I think, to be honest, I think last night was the tip of the iceberg for me when he started making threats. While me and my roommate were in the room, he's like saying like, you don't come out in 5 minutes, I will shoot both of you. And so I think that was a little overstated to say something like that. So boldly. I don't know if he was responding to voices in his head or what, but he has actually admitted that he hears things in the past. I don't know what or who he was responding to. I don't know, but yeah, when he said that, I had to get people involved because I didn't know if he was actually going to harm one of us. He does have a rifle on hand. He does.
Those who are talking about the church, I don't know if you guys are talking about a different thing, but Jordan. So again, Jordan said he had recently gotten out of a cult. He also said that his church helped him get out of the apartment. Now, I think after you watch enough video, you find out Jordan got out of the apartment already on his own. So he didn't need the church to get him out of the apartment. But then he called his pastor of his church, and his pastor came and picked him up. And we've seen video footage of Jordan sitting in the back seat of the pastor's car, and a very interesting exchange between Christian Yena, who called himself, what was it, Emanuela, or what was the name? He used a real feminine name when they asked him what his name was, and he didn't say it was Christian. It was like Gabrielle. Gabrielle is what he said his name was. Anyways, which is a very feminine sounding name, and they never explained why he said that. The pastor of Jordan was called in after Jordan had already gotten out, and just helped him, give him a place to stay during this event. Well, actually, Jordan was kept in a hotel, but anyways, that was the pastor did arrive at the scene, so that's what you're talking about, I think.
Have knives on hand, that I do know. So I didn't know if he was already at the point of.
I need to back that up.
He does have a rifle on hand, but
okay,
yeah,
hold on. I went back to this is important. Listen, this is important. The rifle and the pistol situation. For those who don't know, Jordan has always maintained that Brent Kopacka had a rifle, and he even said a rifle, and he put his hands out like this to indicate the size. And another officer, Wade, said, yeah, he clearly said rifle. He even showed me how big the rifle was. Christian Yena, when they go in and get Christian out of the apartment, says he doesn't have a rifle. He has a pistol. So one of the big mysteries in this thing is Christian Yena is insisting there was no rifle. It was a pistol. Jordan has said 1,000,000 times it was a rifle. They officially said it was a pistol during the shooting. So the question is, what's the fucking deal with the whole confusion about the rifle versus a pistol? It's one of the mysteries in this shooting. All right, let's go.
When he said that, I had to get people involved because I didn't know if he was actually going to harm one of us. He does have a rifle on hand. He does have knives on hand. That I do know.
Rifle and knives. Also, maybe an axe. Brent Kopacka's bedroom, when we saw pictures of the room after he had been shot, had a hatchet buried in the wall. A hatchet, of all things. And again, if you know, you know. There's allegations that the Idaho 4 murders may have had more than one weapon, and one of those weapons may have been a hatchet. So if you don't know, that's part of the narrative out there. That's there. And Brent Kopacka had a hatchet. He had knives, and he had a rifle and a pistol, guns, plural. And yet, officially, we don't hear a lot of that. And I find that super interesting to me. All right, let's continue.
So I didn't know if he was already at the point of acting out on his rage, because he was very angry for some weird reason, very angry, very disturbed, and I couldn't be in that kind of environment. He's putting me in a very weird position because I have about 9 more months of this lease that I owe. And I don't want to get evicted, but I don't want to stay in an environment that's not livable. I can't live with someone that's not taking their medication. That could be a danger.
I want to make a note of something real quick. I don't know that it matters, but 0314 215, and that is the lease time. So he's been there for 2 months, and he has 9 months left in his lease. So it's a year-long lease, 9 months left on his lease, and he's been there for 2 months. I'm just doing some math, figuring some stuff out. It feels like it's one of those details that could come back. All right, looking through the comments, Army isn't issued K-bars. That's Marines. I love that Bill Thompson said a knife was primarily used. Primarily doesn't mean sold, dude. Yes, see, the devil is in the details, primarily. And it came out many times that more than one weapon was likely used. Steve Gonzalez at the actual sentencing press conference outside at the courthouse told people there was more than one weapon used, and the press asked that, what was the other weapon used? And there was a big pause from Bill Thompson and the group as they looked around at each other and said, we're still going with it was primarily one weapon. What kind of fucking bullshit fuckery is going on in this case that they can't just tell you we're still going to go with it was primarily one weapon? Now, are they using the nuance because it was one weapon and he may have used the hilt of the weapon as a bludgeoning event? But they've yes, you have pointed out very, very succinctly, the whole primarily one weapon has always been a tip that they know that more than one weapon was used, which causes a problem with the single perpetrator thing, which is the reason why, in my opinion, they've always wanted to dance around more than one weapon, because it leads to a lot of questions. What was he doing with the other weapon while he was pummeling him with a knife? What was the other weapon? What was the other weapon? And they don't want to talk about it. They just say, well, we're still going to go with it was primarily one weapon. Whatever they decide, why they have to hide it, I don't know. If it really was what they said it was, one guy, why did they have to hide? Why not just tell us what the other weapon was? Why not just tell us? But why does it all have to be hidden? Why is it all under gag order? Why is it all FBI is involved and public records are being blocked still and you're not allowed to know anything if it was just simply what they said it was? It makes no sense. All right, sorry for the huge side tangent. I get pissed off at this stuff. Let's continue.
To themselves or to other people. So I just don't think my landlords get that.
Have you talked to them before about this issue?
I talked to them about something about him, and his mannerisms, but I did not bring this up because this happened around 7 o'clock, and that was when the office was closed, so I couldn't contact my landlord. But I will bring this up with the landlord saying.
Now that's an interesting thing. 7 o'clock. He's saying this incident started around 7 o'clock. The call came in at 8 something. So I don't think I've ever heard the 7 o'clock thing from Jordan. So I'm just writing that down. All right, let's keep going.
That if him and I don't move out, I would like to end the lease. And I would like to leave the lease on good terms and not pay for what the
and unfortunately
$5,000 I owe on it, because
unfortunately, when we finish this file, I'm probably going to cut the live. So this is just to let you guys know, YouTube's going to hammer my channel for such a low watched video. So since people aren't interested in this and they're not watching it, it tells YouTube that people aren't interested in our channel, and it kills my channel. So this was what I was afraid of when I did this. Unfortunately, I was hoping that we'd get a little bit more interest, but having less than 30 people watching it will kill the channel. In my opinion, it tells the algorithm that nobody likes your stuff. So I will finish this out for you guys, but I think we're going to go back to members only content, because we can't have super low numbers on things that we do. It hurts. Like it makes the channel, then they don't promote the channel, and all those things is just really, really bad.
That it's not right that I have to pay for a living situation that's not livable.
Well, so tell me more about what happened
Yeah.
today when you were woken up.
I was really stressed out, to be honest, because I don't know what I'm going to be doing from now on, because that's the only spot that, besides my friend's place, like she said I'm more than welcome to live at her place anytime. She doesn't have any mental conditions or anything, but at this point, I don't know what to do from this point on, because this apartment's technically my only place to go.
Okay.
So it's kind of like,
Jordan's wording here is starting to get super interesting to me. So he's got a girl's place that he can stay at, but this is primarily his place to stay. He technically doesn't have the wording that he's using. I technically don't have other places to go. This is primarily my main place to stay. It leads to a lot of questions, especially when furniture and stuff wasn't at this apartment. It always sounded super weird. Anyways.
Yeah. But the whole situation last night was new. I have never seen him so angry and talking so crazy like that. I think that was a whole nother level I wasn't expecting. And I don't know if part of it was his drinking, because he does drink. I know that.
Was he drinking last night?
I don't know.
Okay.
I couldn't smell any alcohol, so I don't know if he was a little tipsy and the alcohol got to him or what. But
do you know if he does any other drugs?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Not that I'm aware of. I don't think he's a drug addict. But his behaviors are very, very obscene, very schizophrenic-like. He always denies that he doesn't have a problem, but it's just when you live with him and you see what he does. I mean, I don't want to be rude, but it's like, unless he's gonna get medication, I don't think he should be living with people like that when you have all these problems, because you're not going to be a functional, productive citizen of society. You're just going to be a nuisance. I hate to say that, but yeah, but last night was a whole new ball game for me.
Okay.
I've never had to lock myself in my room because of the threats he was making out of the wind.
So at what point did you lock yourself in your room?
I locked myself in my room when he came home around 7 o'clock, when he started smashing things around in the kitchen, started yelling, starting to cuss.
Okay.
I really considered calling the police when.
So I need to Brent got home at around 7 p.m. and started smashing stuff in the kitchen. There's like no furniture in the kitchen. I'm not even sure, but maybe they have some plates and shit. I don't know. I didn't see anything broken in there, but that he was smashing furniture up. So somebody said the reason why they didn't have any furniture is because he routinely smashed furniture up. I don't think that's accurate, but other people said that the apartment may have been cleaned out because they were painting. I don't think that's entirely accurate. But anyways, that's a discussion for another day. I'm going to continue on with it, but I just wanted to make a note real quick that Brent supposedly got back from somewhere at 7 p.m. and started smashing stuff, and we'll go from there.
He started making threats in the open, and I didn't know if he was talking to me or a ghost or a hallucination, or I don't know where it was coming from, but he was making threats like here and there, just 10 minutes straight, at least 10 minutes straight of threats. And I'm like, where is this coming from? He's like,
so when he was saying threats, what threats was he saying?
Physical threats, actually shooting, actually taking his rifle and aiming it at me and my roommate and shoot.
I need to fucking comment on this. He's taking his rifle and aiming it at us. How do you mistake rifle and pistol? Christian says it was a pistol. They say he had a pistol. Jordan has said rifle. He showed an officer how big the rifle was. He said he was pointing the rifle at us. You don't mistake a rifle for a pistol. I'm so fucking irritated at this whole pistol versus rifle bullshit. Anyways, because clearly Jordan said he pointed the rifle at them. All right.
So did he actually take his rifle and aim it at you?
I was locked in my room, so I didn't know if he had it on him.
Okay.
He said, I have my rifle here, and if you don't come out in 5 minutes, I'm going to blast your door open. Or
2 seconds after he says he pointed the rifle at us, he's like, I don't know if he had a rifle. He said he had a rifle. Really? You just fucking said he pointed the rifle at you. You literally just said he pointed the rifle at you and your roommate. Now you're like, well, I had my door closed. I didn't see the rifle. He just said he had a rifle. Fuck. All right.
I come in and start shooting. And
How many times do you think he said a threat, like, I'm going to blast the door, I'm going to...
At least 5 or 6 times
Okay.
in 10 minutes. Yeah, he was...
How many times did he say he was going to shoot you?
Probably at least a few times. And then he redirected that phrase to my roommate a few more times. So I'd probably say at least 6 times in 10 minutes.
Okay. And where were you when he
I was
said
in my room. Yeah, I was locked. I locked my door.
Okay. And how do you know he was talking to you?
It sounded like he was by my door when he was talking.
So it feels like what this officer is trying to do and trying to get clear is they want to document that he was threatening to kill people. So she's like, well, how many times did he say he was going to shoot you? How do you know he was talking to you? You know, oh, you saw him point the rifle at you. Now you're saying you were behind a closed door and you didn't see the rifle. I think they're trying to nail down he was threatening to kill people. And that's his story is all over the place, in my opinion. But anyways.
But then again, I don't see, this is the tricky part. I don't know at the same time if he was talking directly at me or at something he was seeing that wasn't there.
Oh my God, dude. Oh my God. So he threatened to kill me, but I'm not sure. Here's the tricky part. I'm not sure he was talking to me. He could have been talking to something that wasn't there. Oh, he pointed a rifle at me and my roommate. You saw the rifle? Well, no, I had my door locked, so I didn't see the rifle. Well, then how do you know he was pointing a rifle at you? Well, he said I had a rifle. And was he threatening you? Yeah, he was, but I'm not sure he was really talking to me. He's like, fuck, can we get a straight story at all? Not even remotely. All right, sorry.
But it sounded like he was talking to me.
I mean, yeah.
When he was...
He might not have been talking to me, but it sounded like he was talking to me. Like, what version do you want me to tell you? Like, fuck, come on. Come on, man.
Close to my door. I could see his shadow under my door, and you know, it sounded like he was talking to me. So I don't even know if he's ever going to remember that, but I definitely remember that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so can you remember any other ways he said he was going to shoot you?
No, that was about it. By the time his anger started to escalate, I left the apartment quietly. I made sure he wasn't out in the open, and I left the apartment as quietly as I could. And that's when my friend Trino and Brian got a hold of you guys.
Okay.
Got a hold of 911.
All right, I need to pause. The people he just named, Brian and Torino, pulled up. I got to get that back again. I'm going to back up just a hair.
So can you remember any other ways he said he was going to shoot you?
No, that was about it. By the time his anger started to escalate, I left the apartment quietly. I made sure he wasn't out in the open, and I left the apartment as quietly as I could. And that's when my friend Trino and Brian got a hold of you guys. Got a hold of 911, and I was outside talking to them about what was going on. And
My friend Torino and Brian called you guys, called 911. All right.
I think some of your coworkers came by and started to ask me questions.
Yeah.
They started to investigate the apartment, see what was going on.
So what made you leave the apartment quietly?
I didn't want to be loud because by the way he was acting, I just knew if I just made one loud noise, I mean, it could be my life, because I didn't know where he was mentally. I mean, he was just angry. I've never seen him so angry before like this ever. And I just thought, well, if he has
Amanda, yes, he admitted he has schizophrenia. He said the difference between my schizophrenia and Brent Kopacka's schizophrenia is I take my medication and he doesn't. So yeah, he does say he's got schizophrenia. So, you know, one could argue when you hear voices, but I mean, again, I don't want to nitpick it to death. It seems consistent. Kopacka was threatening the roommates, but their story sucks ass. Like, it really just sucks ass. So.
Gun on him like he says he does, he could just shoot me right there. So I had to be really quiet, make sure he wasn't out in the open, because I didn't know what was going on up here. Okay. That's the problem.
And why did you leave the apartment?
I didn't feel safe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
of the way he was acting, his things he was saying, his anger. Didn't know where that was coming from.
Do you know how much ammunition he has?
That I don't know.
Okay. Do you know how many firearms he has?
Like firearms, I don't know. Besides the rifle, I know he has. That's the only firearm that I know he has.
Okay.
He does.
Again, rifle. Christian Yenis says he doesn't have a rifle. He has a pistol. Fuck me. All right.
He does have knives. That I do know.
He has knives.
So the rifle
and some knives, and that's about it. But
how do you know that he has the rifle?
He showed it to me one day. He showed me he showed me his firearm, and then he showed me some looked like hunting knives.
Okay.
That's how I know.
When is the last time you saw that?
So Brent Kopacka had hunting knives, plural. There was no mention of the hatchet yet, and a rifle. Like, there's no mistaking rifle. What was the official weapon that Kopacka had, according to the police reports? Was it not a pistol? Wasn't it a pistol? It was a pistol. Do you remember during the shooting, you heard two different calibers of rounds? They even said, oh, look, he's switched to a smaller caliber round. And then a little bit later, large rounds happened again. And they're like, fuck, he's back to fucking a different. So there was more than one weapon. I think there was a pistol and a rifle, and I think he shot a pistol and a rifle. But I think the official story was it was a pistol. Amanda's looking it up right now. Yeah, I think the official story was a pistol, not a rifle. But I can't. You can't get over how many times Jordan says he saw the rifle. He was told that I have a rifle. He was told I'm going to shoot you with my rifle. At one point said he pointed the rifle at us, but maybe he didn't because we were behind a closed door. He showed an officer how big the rifle was, and on and on and on. Bubbly Waters has several. He's definitely got issues. Haven't watched recently any of that stuff. So, okay.
A rifle.
To my best knowledge, I would say 4 or 5 days ago.
4 or 5 days ago.
Yeah.
And when he said, he told you got 5 minutes for I'm going to shoot you.
Yeah.
And what did you take that to mean?
For the worst case scenario, that could have been my last.
I want to say, I can't remember which. I think this might be Brianna that's doing the interview. I can't remember, but wow. I mean, I gotta, thanks for coming in, by the way. I see that somebody's got to leave. So thank you for stopping by and helping out while you could to watch. Where was I going? I was going to tell you something that just, fuck, did I just lose it? Oh, I just lost it, didn't I? I was going to make a big point. Fuck. I lost it saying goodbye to somebody. All right, let's keep going. Shit, I lost my point. I had a point.
Time. That could have been my warning to go.
Oh, I know what it was. She's spending, if you look at the details, she's spending a lot of time. And again, keep in mind, this is before Brent Kopacka is shot and killed in the standoff. She spends a lot of time trying to establish, oh my God, hold on. She might be the same officer who oh my God, tell me if I'm wrong about this. Is she the same officer that said over the air, he just said he's going to start killing people in the parking lot? Because I think she goes back to the standoff situation. And I think she's the one that said, he just said he's going to start shooting people in the parking lot. She's spending a lot of time asking Jordan to document threats of killing people. How many times did he say he was going to kill you? How many times did he say he was going to kill your roommate? How many times did he threaten your life? You felt your life was threatened, right? Did he tell you he was going to threaten your life? And she's going on and on asking him to clarify how many times did he say he was going to kill you? And I think she's the same one that says he just said he's going to start killing people in the parking lot. This single officer seems to have a hard-on for trying to make sure we document that Kopacka was going to kill people, and so he had to be killed. That's why I'm getting the heebie-jeebies from her. Her constant narrative that, I mean, granted, don't get me wrong, Jordan is saying that he was threatening to shoot them and that's why he left. So I'm not saying she's making it up, but she spends an inordinate amount of time trying to document that he was going to kill people, right? He was going to kill people, right? You thought you were fearing for your life because he was going to kill you, right? How many times did he tell you? Tell me how many times he told you he was going to kill you. Okay. And then later on, he just said he's going to start killing people in the parking lot. And then they shoot and they kill him. This single officer's constant insistence of focusing on the death threat is what led to the escalation. Yeah, let's keep going.
And so after he made that threat, that's when I decided to strategically move out of my room as quietly as possible, because I was waiting until I didn't see a shadow. I was waiting, hoping that he wasn't out in the open, and if he was, I was going to run for my life because
I also think that she's the officer. I almost think she's the same officer that goes out and when she's questioning Jordan the first time in the back of the pastor's car, she said I think it's the same one. She said a shocking question to me. Was Brent Kopacka a football coach? She asked, she fired off a bunch of things. What can you tell me about Brent? What can you tell me about his size? Is he a big guy? Is he a little guy? Was he ever a football coach? And I'm like, what the fuck does a football coach have to do with anything? I think it's the same one. My gut tells me this officer has been watching the Idaho 4 situation since that happened, and she's got her suspicions about Brent Kopacka and the Idaho 4, and she's trying to make the connections all by herself, and she's pushing this whole narrative. It feels like, I could be completely wrong, but that's the gut feeling I have, is that she's got her mind made up that Kopacka was involved, and she's trying to document it. And I don't know. It just feels weird. Her involvement. It just, and I remember an officer was reprimanded on this shooting. I don't know if this is the one. So if any of this is resonating with you guys and you guys know the full story, please correct me. I'm going off of memory. So let's keep going.
And I wasn't the only one he was threatening. He was threatening my roommate too.
Is there?
He said both, because when he said the statement, "This is to the both of you," that meant me and Christian or whatever.
So Christian doesn't think that he was talking to Christian. Is there a reason why Christian doesn't think that, or why Christian wouldn't?
That I don't know.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm not trying to get Brent in trouble, but I can't live in an environment like that because A, I have mental illness.
Okay.
And B, I can't live with someone that's that unstable, not taking their medication, not, I mean, he clearly needs help, some kind of help. I mean, he needs some professional intervention because there's things about him that Christian doesn't understand or sees that I see, because if you're talking to things that aren't there, or you're seeing things that aren't there, or you're hearing things, or I mean, that's abnormal. I mean, do you have some sort of brain issue? You have some schizophrenia or bipolar, or his moods changed a lot too. So I mean, he might be on a spectrum of something
Okay.
because you can tell the difference between a normal mood swing, right, versus an extreme, and he always hits the extreme. When his moods change, they change. It's not like he goes from happy to sad. He goes from like joyful, I love everybody, to this other side of him where he's just so angry, so.
By the way, this is important for those who question the Kopacka narrative, that multiple people said he'll go from happy to rageful in an instant. So if for those who believe Kopacka could have been involved in the Idaho murders, then the question becomes, was he there and snapped? Like he could have been there for some other reason and went from happy to rageful in an instant, and with his training. It's a possibility. I don't know that I can place Kopacka in the house at all. I can't place Kohberger in the house either, for that matter. But the point being is that it's important to understand that this was multiple people said that he goes from happy to rageful in a short and instantaneously. But anyways, as he says, he was a vet with PTSD. They should have brought in someone to talk to him. The thing that could have ended differently. Brent didn't have to die that day, in my opinion. I think they wanted to silence him. Right. And what about Payne? Yeah, and Payne was 82nd Airborne, just like Brent Kopacka as well. All right, let's continue.
Angry, and he just talks crazy. He just doesn't things that don't make sense. Like one time he asked me if the president was at our door, and I'm like, the president's not at our door. He's
Okay.
like, well, I hear him outside. I'm like, my Biden is probably sleeping in the White House. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't see Biden outside the door.
So if he is crazy, what made you concerned that he was dangerous towards you tonight?
Here we go again.
What made me think he was a threat was when he was right outside my door saying those things, because I
Okay.
could see his shadow underneath my door
Okay.
saying those things. Because I had a thought that, well, maybe he had a delusion, like maybe something was conjured up in his mind chemically, and I somehow was the target. So I thought maybe he got mad at me for some reason
Okay.
and started saying those things because maybe I felt maybe I was a threatening presence to him. So yeah, I don't want to be rude, but I think there's things that Christian doesn't understand about mental illness.
And that could be.
Everything that he sees is not normal. I mean, a healthy-minded person doesn't make threats, doesn't do half the things I saw last night.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't care even if you're hallucinating. If you're threatening to hurt somebody, I'm sorry, but the law has to get involved. That's
Okay.
You're threatening somebody.
So
You have to get police involved. And Christian seemed very surprised that you guys were there, but it was just like, well, I'm sorry, but if someone's getting to the point where they're so agitated that they're literally threatening another human being, yeah, the police have to get involved, because
so
he could have meant that.
and you thought that he was a danger
Yeah,
towards
I thought
you.
he was
Okay.
either going to shoot me or my roommate. I didn't know
Okay.
I don't know what his plan was.
And do you think when he was going to shoot you, do you think he was going to kill you?
Oh yeah.
Here we go
Probably.
again.
I think he was mad enough to do it.
Again, this officer's almost feeding Jordan the words that she needs. Did you think he was going to kill you? How many times did he say he was going to kill you? Did you leave because you were afraid he was going to kill you? I'm like, she's constantly feeding him. Repeat the language. He was going to kill you. That's the important part for her, it seems. All right.
Does he have any other things that he complains about, or?
Oh, Brent or
Brent, yeah.
Brent. Yeah, some of the things he complains about is normal. I mean, there's stuff about our apartment he doesn't like, so I'll let that be. There's things that bothers him, but
Aside from the government.
yeah, there's stuff that bothers him, but not to the point where he's gonna make threats and
Okay.
hurt somebody.
Has he ever threatened you before?
No.
Okay.
So
And you guys have lived together for 2 months?
Yeah.
And you live, what room is your room?
311C.
You're in 311C.
Oh no, 311A. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. 311A.
311A.
Kopacka was in 311C. So, anyways, he says he's in 311A. Oh my God. Once again, the roommates, by the way, the roommates can't get straight what room, what apartment numbers, what rooms they have. They really can't get it straight. Christian Yenna doesn't know the room numbers inside his own apartment. This guy doesn't know if he's in C or A and has to correct himself. That's another weirdness of this whole thing. Yeah, they've lived there for a couple of months, but they don't seem to know whether they're apartment A, or if they're room A, B, or C. And Christian gets it wrong as well. So the whole fucking thing just sounds so weird to me. Every time I hear it and them not sure what rooms are which rooms, it just throws me off. Even Brent Kopacka in June, when he was asked what unit he lived in at the Pimlico Apartments, said he couldn't remember the unit number. Like, you don't know what unit number, like, how do these people not know what unit or room numbers they're living in? It's a weird thing.
And do you know what room Christian is in?
I believe 311C.
Does he have a window
No,
out?
because again, C was Kopacka's. Fuck. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Does Brent have a window outside?
Yes, but it's further to. So if you're in the apartment, it's further to the left.
Okay.
So there's a window in the living room.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's Christian's room. He has a window.
Okay.
And then there's Brent's. So he is 1, 2, 3 windows down this way if you're in the apartment.
So if I were to go into the apartment,
right,
you've got
right.
Christian's room, and then there's a door. Is that door next to Christian's room a bathroom, or is it?
That's like the door next to Christian's. That's Brent's room, and then
That's Brent's room.
right across
Okay.
Christian's room is the bathroom.
Okay.
I hate to say that Brent would be capable of hurting somebody, but I think if you're having that much delusion, I mean, it's possible. It's possible that you could hurt somebody because I don't know what voices he was hearing. I mean, he was screaming at nothing.
Mm-hmm.
From what I can tell, I was screaming and hollering and saying, "Shut up! Don't talk to me that way!" and blah 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 blah. I mean, almost like having a conversation with himself. This angry conversation with himself, and nobody does that unless you have some kind of mental illness of some kind. Nobody does that. I've been around the mental health system for so long because of my issues that when you see it, you see it. You don't.
And again, these guys all have mental health issues living together. And he's like, I've had mental health issues for so long. I know about this kind of stuff. And I got schizophrenia and whatever. And I think Christian Yenna had mental health issues, and Kopacka had mental health issues. So you got 3 guys with mental health issues living together, not knowing what rooms they live in or what the numbers are of the rooms. It's the whole fucking thing has always bugged me. Always.
You to be a professional to say, oh yeah, that person doesn't have a problem. Oh yeah, he does. I mean, you shouldn't be having a shouting match with yourself. I mean, he was having shouting matches with himself. I'm like, he was like, I don't want to repeat the words, but he was like, you mother, blah blah blah, and you mother, blah blah blah. Don't talk to me that way. Don't ever talk to me that way. Just angry.
Okay.
Just so angry, full of his speech was full of hatred. I don't know where it was coming from, but just so angry with something or a voice in his head. Or, I mean, I've never seen him or heard him ever be that angry. So, and he was just, I mean, there has to be a point where all this has to stop. You know what I mean? There has to be a point where someone has to tell him, like, if you're not going to go get help, you shouldn't live here, And it's not fair to being Christian, It's not fair to me, and it's not fair to Christian, because I'm trying to get my life on track because my finances aren't great.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about Christians, but you know, at the same time, it's like, I can't live in an apartment for another 9 months with somebody that claims they don't have a problem
Okay.
to turn around and act like that. I'm sorry, but either he moves out or I move out. But if I move out, I don't want to pay the rest of the lease. That's going to be my defense, because I'm like, why should I pay the rest of a lease that I'm not living on?
Jordan, let me get through some
Sorry.
things. That's okay.
Sorry.
Has he ever used a weapon against you or threatened to use a weapon against you before today?
Before today, besides that shouting in front of my door, no. So I guess last night was technically the first for me. But we weren't face to face. So it sounded like he was just outside my door screaming. So
Okay.
Here we, and she almost sounds disappointed. Oh, okay. Like she's trying to get him that you were directly threatened. Your life was directly threatened. And then he keeps backpedaling with the, well, I didn't really see him. He was kind of shouting out in the hall and may not have been even talking to me. Okay. But can we go back to where you said he was threatening to kill you? Like it literally, it's like she's frustrated because he keeps fucking waffling on whether or not he directly was threatened or not. Anyways.
yeah,
You guys don't have children.
no.
Do you think he might try and kill you?
Here we go.
Rest of it.
Once again, she's frustrated because he just backpedaled again. Well, I'm not even sure he was talking to me. He was just out there screaming. She's like, oh. So do you think he was going to kill you? Can we go back to the fucking part where he was going to kill you? Anyways.
Yeah. I mean, if he's bold enough to make statements to like,
And how this gets put into a police report will be like over 20 times Jordan said that he threatened to kill him. That'll how it get written to the police report. What they won't talk about is how many times he said, well, I'm not sure he was even talking to me. Maybe he was just talking to somebody else. Maybe it was a victim he saw in his head. Maybe it was a hallucination. He was yelling outside my door. I'm not even sure if it was directed at me. Okay, but did you think it might have been you? Yeah, I kind of thought it could have been me. So you thought he was trying to threaten to kill you? Okay, that's what we're going to put in the police report. He threatened to kill you.
what he made last night, I think he could be capable of hurting me.
Okay.
That's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but I mean, making threats is always the first. You know,
5747. I will be clearing here shortly.
making threats is usually the first step.
He has a gun.
He has a gun. Yep.
Has he ever tried to choke you?
No.
Is he?
That fucking, oh, this chick gives me the heebie-jeebies. Oh my God, listen. I'm an overactive imagination. So I think this is the same officer who did another weird shit just like this. So was he ever a football coach? What the fuck does that have to do with anything? Where the fuck does this girl come in with has he ever tried to choke you? Why would she ask that question? Listen, this is why she's going to ask that question, in my opinion, because if you remember the body camera, this is again, my feeling. I feel like they thought Kopacka was involved in the Idaho 4 murders. This is why she said, was he a football coach? Because Kaylee had a relationship with a football coach. They thought that was an inappropriate relation. And that's why she said, was he ever involved in a football coach? Also, you saw on a body camera footage of an officer inside Pullman, Moscow Police Department, telling Lanier, I don't know if you know what happened here. And then they redact his whole fucking conversation so you can't hear it. But what you see is the officer show with his hands like he's grabbing and choking someone with his hands. He literally makes a motion like choking. And now she says to Jordan, has he ever choked you before? Has he ever choked you before? Because I think this officer thinks Brent Kopacka was involved in Idaho 4. I'm convinced of it. I'm not convinced. I have a really, really, really strong feeling. This female officer believes Kopacka was involved with the Idaho 4. And she's trying to make every connection she can to it. Was he a football coach? Did he try to choke you before? There's no indication in any part of the story anywhere where he ever said anything about choking. In fact, he said he was locked behind a door, didn't see him, and then snuck out privately. Why the fuck would the officer ask him, well, did he ever try to choke you? Why would she ask that? Think about it for a minute. No part of his conversation ever led to a possibility of choking. She's trying to get a choking allegation out of him to make a connection to the Idaho 4 murders. I almost guarantee you. That's where the choking question comes in. That's where was he a football coach? I think she believes I really think she believes there's a possibility Kopacka was involved in the Idaho 4 murders. And that's why she's asking about choking. That's why she's asking about the football coach. And it's fucking, the devil is in the details. This is what I'm saying. This is why I'm getting so irate. Her asking him out of the blue a choking question is completely out of context. He never fucking said anything remotely close to choking. Why did she ask that question? That is $1 million question. I'm going to back it up one more time, and then I'll just try to not freak out about it again.
Yeah.
You guys don't have children.
No.
Do you think he might try and kill you?
I'm convinced of it. Yeah. I mean, if he's bold enough to make statements of what he made last night, I think he could be capable of hurting me.
Okay.
That's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but I mean, making threats is always the first.
5747. I will be clearing here shortly.
Making threats is usually the first step.
He has a gun.
He has a gun. Yep.
Has he ever tried to choke you?
No.
Is he jealous or try and control you?
No.
And is he unemployed?
Her questions, I'm sorry, her questions were inappropriate. That if she's the same officer that asked the football question out of the blue, oh my God, she asked another question out of the, yeah, no, it's that one. The football coach question out of the blue, fucking unbelievably has nothing to do with anything. The choking and jealousy question, nothing to do with anything. She already has I guarantee you, this officer already has an idea in her mind of what the story is, and she's trying to get him to corroborate her story in her mind. So did he choke? Was he jealous? Was he a football coach? She's got an idea in her mind about the killer, about the killer, the shooter that she's claiming is trying to threaten to kill everybody. She's got an idea in her mind, and she's trying to lead him to give her the factual basis that she's looking for. Choking, jealousy, football coach. I think it's the same one. I think it's the same officer. Now I'm going to fucking shoot myself in the fucking foot if she's not the same officer. I'm almost certain she's the same officer. And I think she's the same officer that'll call in. He just started to threaten to start killing people in the parking lot. And if she's the same officer that did all that, I'm fucking going to do a long form video about that shit that maybe we'll get some views instead of this thing, which is getting no views. Because if she's the same one, hold on, I got to write this down. Football coach, I'm going to get all these clicks together. Football coach question, choking question, jealousy question, shooting, parking lot. If that all came from the same officer, I want to make that clear. I think it is the same officer.
Has he ever tried to kill himself?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Does he follow or spy on you or leave threatening messages?
He spied on me.
Now, oh my God. Now she's going on the stalking and, oh my God, and spying thing. Kohberger allegations, right? Kohberger was stalking the girls. He was spying on the girls. This was the thing. Like, so now she's looking for evidence that he stalked him or spied on him. Fuck me. I'm writing this down. This officer, if she's the same one, I'm gonna fucking, I'm gonna lay it out. I'm gonna be like Key and Peele. I'm gonna lay it out. I'm gonna look that woman in the windows of her soul and be like, bitch, if you want to say Kopacka was involved, just fucking say Kopacka's involved. That's a Key and Peele fucking sketch right there. I just ripped off. Bitch, if you want to say Kopacka's involved, just say Kopacka's involved. I'm going to back this up just a hair to hear about the stalking and spying questions she asks him again.
And is he unemployed? Has he ever tried to kill himself?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Maybe I didn't go far enough back.
Follow or spy on you or leave threatening messages?
There it is. Follow or spy on you.
He spied on me a couple times, but he's never left threatening messages.
Okay. I apologize.
Yeah.
I have to get going, but I am going to make sure you have this information.
Are those the free resources or?
So if you want to write.
And when she says I have to get going, I think she goes back to the scene of the shooting. And after having this, listen, I'm going to try to spell this all out. I'm going to try to prove that this is true. This officer is doing this interview. The standoff is still happening with Kopacka back at 311. She's talking to Jordan, getting him to say, was he trying to kill you? Was he trying to kill you? Was he trying to kill you? Did he ever choke you? Ever spy on you? Did he ever do any of these things? Blah, blah, blah. How many times did he tell you he was going to kill you? Then she's going to go back to the scene and say, Kopacka just said he's going to start shooting people in the parking lot. All right.
A statement about what happened today, that would be helpful. This is information. Is there any other weapons in the house aside from his weapons?
There's a kitchen knife. I mean,
Okay.
that could be a weapon, I guess.
So I have applied for a search warrant for the residents to search for all firearms and for him.
Yeah.
Officers are outside waiting, and it sounds like he's shooting right now. So you have my number.
Yeah.
But if I am not working, please call the police department before you try and go back to the house.
Yeah. Like, is he actually shooting a gun, or is it just?
What else would he be shooting? What else would he be shooting?
I don't understand why Christian put himself in that position.
So
Yeah, that's none of my business, but.
You need to contact Alternatives to Violence at the police department. They can help you work on an order so that he cannot contact you, and they can help you work on that lease issue.
Yeah.
Because you're right. You should not have to live with that.
You know, I'm pretty lucky. I have a friend in town. She's very healthy. She doesn't have any. So, I mean, I might just live with her until I find my own place.
Well, contact them. They can help you.
Okay.
And you do have rights.
Yeah.
And we are going to be working on arresting him for harassment. But please apply for an order and support an order.
Oh, so which number would it be? Just probably right here. 509-332 help, or would it be? There's just so many on
47
here.
can respond shortly. Alternatives to Violence at the police, the 24-hour number works great.
This one? Okay.
Officers will be following up with you. I have to go shut down Main Street because he's shooting towards Main Street. I apologize that this has been so hectic, but please respond to us when you can, and thank you for talking to us.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Take care of yourself.
Yeah, you guys stay safe out there.
Thank you.
I'm glad we brought this up, you know.
Yeah, thank you. Sierra 47 and out to Main and Bishop. Oh shit.
Oh shit, she says. We got a guy he's gonna kill people. I think she goes back to the scene and is the one that tells him he just said he's gonna start shooting people in the parking lot. Ooh, wow, like that's like one officer who really is escalating the thing. Again, I don't know. Maybe I'm overreacting. Sometimes I overreact. By the way, part of the reason why I tend to do these things as members only is because I tend to get overreactive and I don't want to have to eat my fucking own words later on when I made a mistake. Like maybe she's not the same one that asked about the football thing. Maybe she's not the same one who said he's going to start killing people in the parking lot. I think she is, and I got to try to prove it. The problem is I got to hope that I took notes and remember what files there were so I can clip it all together and show you on a long form video. If I can lay it all out, I'll lay it out today before tonight's live, and I'll talk about it on Crimes After Dark. Thanks for watching. I may never do this again. I don't know. The viewership is so low when I do any kind of lives like this. It really hurts the channel a lot. And so long form videos do well for me. Live videos don't. This one's killing than me probably. So I may not do this again for public. So if you want to watch this kind of stuff, you may need to sign up for the members only, because that doesn't hurt my channel. Again, I'm not trying to do things for clickbait, but I also can't have my channel driven into the dirt by YouTube thinking that nobody gives a shit about what I have to say. So I have to find that balance of saying stuff that people care about, so that the algorithm says, hey, that person has cool takes on stuff, or instead of like, nobody gives a shit what he has to say. So anyways, thanks for listening. Glad you gave a shit to listen to it. I think there's something big there. I really think there's something big here. So have a great one. I will see you guys later. I'll hopefully get all those notes put together for tonight.